Disclaimer: this video is not an attack on Professor Lando. I particularly enjoy his content and find it extremely entertaining. This video is all in good fun, as the basis of academia is, of course, discussion. With that out of the way, please enjoy. Dear Professor Lando, firstly, I would like to preface that I am incredibly pleased and delighted at your cost-free internet-based educational pursuits at Ligma University. However, as a fellow academic in the arts of thickology, pogology, ufology, monster girl zoology, furology, milzology, and fembiology, as well as additional deep pieces of cultured education, which I of course learned here at KCCC, otherwise known as Kinda Cringe Community College, I feel it is important to discuss some of the misconceptions and falsehoods that you have addressed in your class sessions. Speaking chronologically, I would like to first point out some of your incorrect points in Furries 101. Firstly, note that Lola Bunny is indeed a furry. While your definition was correct, furry has also come to be a colloquial term to describe an anthropomorphic animal, and even if you do not subscribe to colloquialisms as an official definition, I must note that Lola Bunny is indeed interested in anthropomorphic animals herself, in regards to both her own body and her relationship companion of Bugs Bunny. Therefore, regardless of the definition, you were incorrect to tell your students that Lola Bunny was not a furry. Next, I would like to discuss your explanation of the furry scale. Whilst you did provide a succinct and surface view level of the furry scale, you neglected to provide your students with the fact that A, you were providing a simplified scale, and B, the resources necessary to find the complete scale. As I'm sure you know, one of the most universally accepted textbooks for Furries 101 is Interspecies Reviewers Volume 4, which has mention of the, quote, Furry Light District, which is a place that specifically uses the furry scale as a means to define where its brothels are located. This district focuses on the use of a percentile rating scale both on the X and Y axes for furries, with the Y axis representing a higher percentage of furriness, or as we say in the scientific community, ferocity, and the X axis representing the distribution of that percentage of ferocity. For example, something like catboys and mermaids could exist at the same Y position on the graph, but a different X position, as catboys have their ferocity distributed more evenly throughout their bodies, and mermaids have it simply all concentrated on their waist down. Due to not utilizing this graph, I noticed you greatly struggled to grade your students' personas during class, as many of them did not fit the traditional archetypes you listed on your 0 to 5 scale. Now, of course I do not fault you, as you are a genius academic. However, I do feel that the students would benefit from more transparency in the complexities of the furry scales as they are being taught. The academic community has, after all, agreed that Interspecies Reviewers Volume 4 is a 101 level text, so I don't understand why you chose to omit it from your class. Particularly, I feel that you may have failed some of your ufology majors in your class by denying them the fact that this text exists and the fact that there is a far more complex furry categorization system. Additionally, I did find your lack of ufology-based vocabulary to be distinctly tied to some of your misrepresentation of ufology concepts. For example, it is not, quote, being upright, end quote, as you stated multiple times in your lesson. The proper phrasing would typically be bipedalism or bipedal perambulation. As this is a 101 course, I can forgive you for your lack of tact in this vocabulary area. However, I do feel it is important for students to grasp the vocabularic nuance of a subject area early, as it can disrupt the educational process later on. Continuing on, your comments on religion, specifically discussing the soul in regards to furries, is something that many ufology academics, including myself, would find greatly offensive. As we all know, no matter what degree of furry they are, be they 0.1% or 100%, furries have no souls. I'm not sure if you just hadn't done your research here, or Whether this was simply your personal disagreement with what the ufology educational communities have decided, but your personal beliefs on the spirituality of furries is not something you should discuss in the classroom. It is incredibly unprofessional. This was further made unprofessional by the fact that you cited the lusty Argonian maid as a resource, in spite of the fact that famous scholars like Brian David Gilbert have refuted it due to its extreme length and averageness when it comes to the literature communities. Now, I do not plan to criticize all of your lectures. However, your recent comments on the waifu qualities of certain species in Monster Girls 101 deeply offended me, and thus I will be writing you another strongly worded letter regarding that. However, regardless of my feelings about that subject, I do find you to be an excellent academic, and I have incredible respect for you. I would like you to know that us here at Kind of Cringe Community College support you and your educational pursuits. Keep up the great work. Sincerely yours, Kinda Cringe Community College Dr. Szk'krrj, PhD.